Who hasn't heard of the brand Nike? And just in case you haven't, Nike is one of the biggest names in the shoe and sport apparel business, with some of its shoes having a huge fan following. The slogan, "Just Do It," is just as famous as the brand, with big names like Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Rafael Nadal, and Cristiano Ronaldo being brand ambassadors of Nike. But how did this company come into being? Who founded Nike? And how did it grow to the behemoth that it is today? Shoe Dog is a memoir by the founder of Nike, Phil Knight. As the title of the book suggests, Nike takes us on an epic journey selling running shoes, being a runner and sport enthusiast himself. He describes the struggles he went through to turn $50 that he had borrowed from his dad to build a $150 billion empire it is today. Through this video, we want to share with you 5 important lessons that Knight teaches us, which we personally believe are instrumental to the success of any aspiring entrepreneur. Lesson number 1. If you are young, don't settle for a job or profession, seek a calling. Phil Knight graduated from Stanford, and one of the projects he worked on was how Japanese cameras were taking up a huge market share that was once dominated by German brands. Knight felt that he was onto something here and felt that the same could be replicated with shoes as well. This was his calling. While on a world tour that he had embarked upon after university, he made a pit stop in Japan. This is where he met with Onitsuka, who was selling the Tiger brand of shoes at the time. Knight left Japan, winning the distributorship for the Tiger brand for the entire West Coast, and that's how the company Blue Ribbon Sports was born in 1964. Knight borrowed $50 from his dad for his first sample of Tiger shoes, which took almost a year to arrive from Japan. He sold the shoes off the trunk of his car at track and field events across the state of Oregon. This was the beginning of his entrepreneurial journey. Lesson number 2. Have a great product and have a passion for it. Keep innovating. Being a runner himself, Knight believed in the quality of the Tigers and sent a couple of pairs to his old track and field coach, Bill Bowerman. Bowerman liked the shoes so much that Knight and Bowerman were soon partners in Blue Ribbon with a 51-49 split, giving Knight control of the company. Bowerman kept experimenting and trying to improve the shoes. He gave Onitsuka many suggestions for improvement over the years, and that helped Blue Ribbon sell more shoes. Bowerman later went on to design Nike's first shoes with waffle design soles that he made literally by pouring polyurethane into his waffle maker. If you watched this far, please consider liking this video and subscribing. This helps us to bring you more content like this. Lesson number 3. Start before you're ready. Fake it till you make it. By 1966, Knight was raking in about $44,000 in revenue. But as his business grew, Knight faced stiff competition from another distributor who was also selling the same Tiger brand of shoes. Knight made a trip to Onitsuka and convinced them to hand over the entire distribution rights to the country, claiming that he had a store on the East Coast as well as on the West. Now, we don't condone that you lie to get through your business dealings. However, the author was lucky enough to get away with it. He ordered 5,000 more shoes with money he didn't have to be delivered to a store he hadn't yet opened. Fake it till you make it. Having said this, Knight always followed up his words with action and always delivered what he had committed. Lesson number 4. Life is about growth. From its humble beginnings, Blue Ribbon sales had risen to $1.3 million in 1971. However, Blue Ribbon's relationship with its Japanese supplier was deteriorating. Forced into a corner, Knight decided it was time to have another supplier and have their own line of products, and hence Nike was born. The iconic swoosh logo and Nike from Greek mythology, meaning goddess of victory, seemed to have been destined for success from the get-go. Even though the revenue kept doubling every year, the company was cash poor much to the dismay of the banks lending money to Nike. However, Knight believed in grow or die, and this pushed his teams to increase sales at every chance they got, despite the cash flow problems they had. The fifth lesson: no matter the obstacle, believe in yourself. Knight was surrounded by an amazing, passionate team right from the beginning who believed in the company and were ready to go to any lengths to see it succeed. Despite a legal battle with Onitsuka in 1973, Nike prevailed and won a settlement of $400,000. By 1974, Nike opened several more stores across the US. Demand for Nike shoes exploded across the country, and Nike started production plants in Japan, Taiwan, and Puerto Rico. Eventually, Nike became the first major brand to open a manufacturing outlet in China at a time when it was a closed country and not as easy to do business there. This kept costs low and kept prices competitive. Nike had to innovate to be better, as they were competing with Adidas, the top dog in the business at the time. In 1977, Nike invented shoe soles with air injected into them, which was a game changer at the time. By 1980, Nike went public. In the same week, a lesser-known tech company went public with a peculiar name. That company was Apple. Phil was worth $178 million overnight and about $10 billion by 2007. Yes, that's billion with a B. Knight stepped down as CEO 3 years prior, but Knight claims that it was never about the money. He revels in the journey he had and is immensely grateful for the people who helped Nike to get to where it is today. They had an unwavering belief that they could succeed if they had put enough heart and effort into it. Knight went through many hardships throughout his entrepreneurial journey, with some personal battles as well, when he lost his son, Matthew, to a scuba diving accident in 2004. However, Knight always remained steadfast in his resolve and believed in moving forward. This, my friends, is the phenomenal story of Phil Knight and Nike. We hope that you've enjoyed the summary of this book, and if you have any recommendations on some of the books you'd like us to cover, please leave a comment and we might just end up making a video on it. Check out the description for the ebook and other Amazon links. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next.